Change tuning or pitch shift? Let's find out. What's up guys, welcome back to another episode on TUGGtv. Hope you guys are safe. When I've recorded this, we were still in lockdown, because of the whole coronavirus thing. So I hope all of you are getting by and are all safe in your respective houses. Today's video essentially is a very random experiment and I wanted to look at what are the possibilities of the differences in terms of what sound you would produce when you use a pitch shifter as opposed to traditionally tuning your strings. Now before I start, I want to make clear this is purely an experiment. It's one of those just because you can do it doesn't mean you should. I still recommend that you go ahead and change the tuning on your guitar if you have to play a different type of song, which I will get into in terms of why I think that's important. But right now we want to focus on what are some of the differences in terms of properly downtuning your instrument versus using a pitch shifter. For those of you who are wondering what a pitch shifter is, essentially it is a tool which helps you to go ahead and emulate a different frequency based on what you would get if you were to tune your guitar accordingly. Now this piece of hardware is available with most mid-range processors. My Boss ME70, which I'm going to be using for this experiment, has a pitch shifter. You are also able to get pitch shifters as dedicated pedals in the market and of course through VST. So to try and make sense of what I'm trying to say, you essentially have a guitar connected to a pedal. In this case, it is my Boss ME70 processor, and then you go ahead and change the pitches. So it's connected like so, and without turning the guitar on, if you hear, you can, I don't know if you can hear it through the microphone, but so as you can hear, I am on an E standard tuning. And of course, if I turn it on, this is what you hear through the processor. Proper E standard tuning. But with the pitch shifter, essentially what's going to happen is I'm going to take the E standard tuning and emulate a change. So it goes. So as of right now, if you can hear it, this is E standard, and this is the D note. But then using the pitch shifter, what I can do is rather than tuning down on the guitar itself, I play E and then I can try and match the D. So there we have it. We have an emulation of a D standard tuning, although I haven't touched anything on the guitar. And that essentially is what we're using this pitch shifter for in this experiment. So to put this entire experiment to test, I'm going to be playing a particular riff on this ME70 on E standard essentially, and then I'm going to downtune this guitar as we would properly do so, to D standard, and then I'm going to use the pitch shifter to emulate E standard, and then we're going to try and find out and see what are some of the differences that you can pick up on. So I've played it without a mix and with a mix. However, I am going to essentially keep it as a blind test. So one of the samples has been played in E standard, which is, properly tuned. And one of these samples have been played with the whole pitch shift emulation. Let me know which one is which. So, could you pick up on any of the differences? What's what? Let me know in the comments below. And of course, in case you're not big on guessing and want to know what's what, it was the second sample, essentially, which was played on proper E standard tuning, and the first sample, which I had gone ahead and used the pitch emulation for. So now, of course, it's the same thing, but played in a mix. But this time I'm just going to let you know what is what. Sample 1 is the standard E tuning, and sample 2 is the emulated one. Check it out. So finally, what are my thoughts on pitch shifting? I think it's a great bit of technology. I think it's a very fun thing to have. You can actually you really can sort of use it as, a replacement for a tremolo. Although, would it really replace a tremolo? I don't know. I think that's a video for another time. But can you sort of emulate some of the effects? You definitely can. Coming down to what it sounds like, if you ask me, there certainly is a very fine difference, but it certainly is there. When you hear these samples without the mix, you can pick up on this slightly loose and floppy essence of the emulated tone that I'm playing. You can kind of pick up on, at least I could pick up on the fact that there is something off about it. It's not exactly tuned perfectly. Now, the reason that would happen is because when you have your guitar tuned to a particular, tuning, so when you're on D standard, there is a particular way that the strings will vibrate and resonate, which is not happening here. This is, software that is going ahead and doing that bit of emulation for you. And of course, at the end of the day, there always is going to be a difference. Even if it is a very fine one, it definitely is there. But honestly, the reason I wouldn't do this, and specifically if you're a bedroom jammer, is you can still hear your guitar in the original tuning that it is in. And that sometimes sort of really interferes with your playing and can be a little bit irritating. Like I said, this is one of those things where just because you can do it doesn't mean you should. But since this was an experiment, thought I'd figure and try it anyway. So those are my thoughts. What did you think about it? Do you have pitch shift? Would you do something like this? Let me know in the comments below. Give this video a thumbs up if you like what you see. Subscribe to our channel for more content like this. And until next time, this is TUGGtv signing off. Stay safe, people, and stay metal.